Let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're diving headfirst into the high-stakes, heavy metal reality of mechanical maintenance on onshore drilling rigs. We're going to unpack the daily practices that keep these massive operations turning. But more importantly, we are putting a massive spotlight on the life-saving LOTO protocols. That's the stuff that quite literally stands between your crews and a catastrophic energy release.
Now, we all know the sheer scale of a rig floor, right? But amidst the heavy-duty wrenches, the high-tech diagnostic sensors, and the massive drawworks, the single most important maintenance tool is actually incredibly simple. It's a padlock. As we'll explore today, that little lock is the ultimate physical barrier, preventing a fatal release of energy.
So let's dive into Section 1, the high-stakes drilling rig.
Managing the dense, incredibly complex web of machinery on an onshore rig isn't just about fixing things when they break. It is entirely about ensuring they never break in the first place. Think about it. A single mechanical failure doesn't just bleed thousands of dollars an hour in downtime, it puts human lives directly in the line of fire. So preventative maintenance, yeah, it's absolutely non-negotiable.
Just think about the sheer scale of stress these components endure day in and day out. You've got the drawworks acting as the beating heart of the rig, bearing enormous loads every single trip. The rotary tables and top drives, they're taking brutal, constant rotational abuse. Your mud pumps are running relentlessly, demanding strict liner and valve replacements. And behind all of that, the power generation systems are keeping the heavy metal moving. Every single one of these components is a fatal hazard if it's ignored.
Moving right along to Section 2, routine upkeep and early warnings.
Sticking to a highly structured schedule is exactly how we catch those small issues before they snowball. Maintenance essentially runs on 3 distinct rhythms. Daily, you're checking fluid levels, inspecting hoses, reviewing pressures. Then your weekly tasks dig a bit deeper, lubricating bearings, testing relief valves, inspecting the brakes. And monthly, well, that's when we hit the heavy-duty work, full tear-down inspections of top drives, rotary tables, and structural connections.
A huge chunk of that routine upkeep really just comes down to lubrication. These rigs are operating under extreme heat, immense pressure, and a ton of dust. Using the right synthetic grease prevents catastrophic wear. But inadequate lubrication, or letting dirt and water seep into the system, that leads straight to blown seals and dead equipment. And keep in mind, over-greasing a bearing can blow it out just as fast as under-greasing. It's a delicate balance.
But hey, even with perfect lubrication, wear happens. It's inevitable. Crews have to act immediately on early red flags. If you hear unusual grinding, knocking, or squealing, that means trouble. Visible cracks, sudden pressure drops, or unexpected heat are massive warnings. And let's not forget vibration. Vibration is a notorious silent killer out there, fatiguing metal and loosening fasteners incredibly fast. If you ignore these, you are fast-tracking your way to an emergency repair. Which brings us to Section 3, the absolute core of today's explainer, the life-saving LOTO process. Okay, before a technician ever lays a hand on a piece of equipment, they absolutely must achieve what's called a zero-energy state. This is way more than just unplugging a machine. We're talking electrical, hydraulic, pneumatic, and mechanical energy. Everything must be completely isolated and deactivated, so an accidental startup is physically impossible. This zero-energy state, it's the holy grail of rig safety. So how exactly do we guarantee that state? Through a non-negotiable 5-step lockout-tagout, or LOTO, procedure. It goes like this. First, identify every single energy source. Second, isolate each one. Third, and this is where our trusty padlock comes into play, apply personal locks and technician ID tags. Fourth, verify that zero-energy state. You have to physically test it to prove it's dead. And finally, step 5, only re-energize after all locks are removed and personnel are completely clear of the area. That personal lock represents absolute, localized control. By holding the key to that padlock, a technician takes personal ownership of their own survival. Literally no one else can remove it. No one can override it. It is a flawlessly effective system, but only provided the culture on the rig demands it be followed every single time without exception. Let's look at Section 4, safe handling and proper PPE. Even when you're in a zero-energy state, specialized human defenses are mandatory. Standard servicing requires your typical hard hat, safety glasses, and steel toes. But the second you step into hydraulic systems, you're swapping those out for chemical-resistant gloves and a face shield. Doing overhead work? You need a full-body harness. Grinding? grab a welding shield and flame-resistant gear. Basically, one size never fits all when it comes to rig maintenance PPE. And then there's the sheer massive weight of what you're dealing with. Moving parts like crown blocks or mud pump modules requires flawless execution. The rules here, they're written in blood. You must use certified lifting slings and rigging hardware rated for the specific load. You must never, under any circumstances, position workers under suspended loads. Rigorous pre-lift toolbox talks are absolutely mandatory, and those crane operators must hold current competency certifications. When you strip away all of the tools, the padlocks, and the PPE, it brings us to one undeniable truth. Highly trained, certified personnel are your irreplaceable backbone. It's their deep knowledge of API standards and their disciplined adherence to LOTO protocols during shift handovers that actually make these safety systems work out there in the real world. Let's wrap things up with Section 5, Tech-Driven Rig Maintenance. We're increasingly moving beyond the gritty reality of the rig floor and stepping into data-driven analytics. With computerized maintenance management systems, or CMMS, teams can track work orders, manage inventory, and review inspection histories all in one digital space. This automates the scheduling of those critical preventative tasks we outlined earlier, taking the guesswork totally out of the equation. The tech goes even further with predictive tools. We're now using vibration analysis for rotating equipment, thermographic imaging for electrical panels, and oil sampling to catch metal wear really early. By predicting failures ahead of time, we drastically reduce those chaotic, high-stress emergency breakdowns. And that means when a technician does need to execute a LOTO procedure, they're doing it in a controlled, planned environment, not in a panic. At the end of the day, all these advanced predictive technologies, the routines, and the strict LOTO procedures, they all serve one single purpose. A proactive approach to rig maintenance isn't just about protecting equipment. It is fundamentally about protecting people. So I want to leave you with this to chew on. Are your current maintenance protocols truly preventing disaster, and is your zero-energy state completely secure, or are you just waiting around to react to the next failure? Thanks for joining me for this explainer. See you next time.